Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you hear all of us without 14 versions of echoes? That's the real question today.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Meg here.
Devin, roll call.
Devin here.
Ugh, I'm so jealous, Devin. You can't be eating the bagel on stream. I'm so mad and jealous. I want a bagel, Alex.
I respect the bagel wanting. I have not had anything except for coffee this morning, although honestly, that's not even the worst choice. So,
It's got a Philadelphia cream cheese.
what kind? Just plain regular?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
On
Because
a cinnamon raisin bagel.
that will do it. Yeah, so my go-to in general, I do prefer flavored cream cheese in general, just as a go-to, but also I specifically like hot sauce on top of my cream cheese. I also like lox on top of my cream cheese, but I can do without that if need be.
Mm.
Yeah. In any
These are
case,
the hard-hitting questions that people come here for.
that's exactly why they come here. Oh,
I love you,
please.
Meg. Thank you for...
What did you do? What did you do?
Nothing.
she was doing bunny ears over your head.
Oh, I missed that entirely. Did not even notice. I saw her reaching out of screen, and I'm like, why is she reaching out of screen? I don't understand what's happening over here. I don't understand the why. Anyways, Ryan, good to see you.
I'm in a portal.
You're in what?
In a portal.
In a portal. In a portal. So, today we're going to be diving into our weekly live. It is a slightly different format than usual, making one change to the format. Basically, there was a segment where we had a topic of the week, but we realized that the Patreons, for the most part, go ahead and do the topic of the week. And so we kind of popped that out, and we're going to have the BGG Hotness as our new segment we're going to be going through. So we're going to be diving into this. Yeah, exactly. Hot, hot, hot. We're going to be diving into this.
What?
Exactly. But we'll dive into this very shortly. We're going to be going through the general segments. We also have names for our segments, which is a fun new thing as well, courtesy of, well, Meg and Meg's inspired names, and then the three of us trying to mess them up as much as possible. The two of us. Yeah. But we're going to dive into the weekly live. We will have our things. Let's do it. I'm so like not in. Hello and welcome to the weekly live. My name is Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
Are we... I'm Devin from Devin
And
Talks
I'm
Hip Hop.
Professor Meg.
I didn't know we were starting all over. That was my fault.
It's just the only way to my screens are just flashing away. My computer can't handle the inputs.
Gosh.
This is such a mess.
Are we okay?
I think we're okay.
I'm Professor Meg from Pax University.
Yeah. And we're going to go through this in general, starting off our bat with, starting with the first segment, which is, Meg, what's it called again?
I don't know. We're starting off with
On
the first
our
segment already.
tables.
Oh, yeah.
I think. The video should be back, hopefully. Let me know if the video isn't back. I think it temporarily cut out
my
for a
gosh.
second. They're back. Perfect. We're going to go ahead with games on our tables. And I'll start this off with the game on my table that I want to talk about, which is, if I can find it over here because I forgot what it was, which is Gosu X. Gosu X.
I very almost picked this. Yeah, very almost.
So in hindsight, I actually meant to go after you, both of you, because I actually played Gosu X with both of you, and I had 3 games lined up depending on what you all picked. But I ruined all that by going first and picking Gosu X. So Gosu X is if you watched last week's live stream, Gosu X is one of the games that we all picked. We actually had a 3-way crossover in terms of our interest level in playing it at the convention. And if I had to guess, I would say our interest level across all 3 of us has changed in different ways. I think Devin is very intrigued by the game, and I think Devin will be very surprised to hear that I'm on the game, and Meg's like, I will never play that ever on the game.
I just want to read the rules myself and then
Did you guys get all the way through a game?
Yes,
Did
we
you
actually
play
did a full game. Yes,
I mean-
indeed.
Meg's like, so...
Yeah, it took Alex all of 4 minutes to crush me after telling me half the rules.
That's exactly what happened. Yes, but I did. Basically, what happened is we played the game. So a few things happened. We went up to the booth. Devin and I were not prepared for the fact that there was a table available for Gosu X, but there was no one really available to teach it. So it was like, hey, you can play it, but no one's really teaching it. So we just sat down, and I played the original Gosu, and so I dove into this Gosu, and I kind of quickly read through the rules as much as possible to try to give it a shot and figure it out. And we kind of made it work. We dove into, I think, a single round before we had to leave, and so we passed it on to somebody else. And then from there, I popped back later at the same table to play it with Meg, this time giving Meg a demo run-through, which means partial rules and teaching as you go. I learnt that day that this is not the way to teach games to
By
Meg.
the way, for everybody in the chat, that clarification was not...
Yes. So I learned very quickly that day that this way of doing it is not the best way to teach Meg, which is...
I'm just going to air this already because I'm salty about it. In this game, after the first round, you have to destroy things. And Alex didn't tell me that. So it depends where you put the things. Like, it really matters where you place them because then you have to destroy them. So I just started playing all my cards, having a great time, really enjoying what they're doing. And then he's like, okay, now destroy half of them, starting with the left.
Yeah, and I completely acknowledge that would give
It
you...
shouldn't be starting with any one side. It should just be starting with whichever ones are open.
Which is the
could
left
be
usually.
Anywhere.
No,
Right,
the
but I
left is
started
open.
building, like, I thought I had to build from one side as well. Can you
Is just
play cards on
ones
opposite
that don't-
sides?
Devin, you start, when you play Gosu, you start by putting cards down, and then you build from left to right. So you have to destroy from right to left.
No, you have to destroy from open. So you could destroy an open one that's on top of the far side.
Far right or the far left?
The open just means it doesn't have something on top of it.
And nothing on top and nothing to the right.
I don't think you're right.
Nothing
on
to the
that.
right or nothing to the left?
Nothing to the right. You mirrored me, Meg, so yours was to the left. But
I
in
don't
general,
know if you're
Clearly,
right
I
on
wasn't taught well.
we can find the rules for this. It's so where you are technically correct, Devin, is you can destroy a leftmost top card before a bottommost right card.
Well, yes.
Yes, but I'm
But
saying
what I'm
the card you destroy has to have nothing on top of it and nothing to the right. Okay. Anyways,
that is more of an agreement. Yes.
so
Either way.
we dove into it, and so Devin and I had a partial mutually butchered rules teach, and Meg got a demo version of the game, which is not the best way to teach it. Understandably, I understand where the frustration comes from. I'm not taking it away, but I guess overall my opinion of the game.
This is not where Alex wanted his Gosu X conversation to
Oh,
go.
please! I expect it to go this way. Gosu is a game that I played the original, and I thought that this version of Gosu lacked some of the charm of the original. It did not have the cutesy goblin artwork that I actually particularly liked from the original, and I think elements of the game... I think I was more in the middle of both Meg and Devin in terms of my opinion of it. I was reminded both why I liked it originally and why it didn't last in my collection. I think Gosu was a charming game with a lot of puzzles, a lot of opportunities for interesting card play as you try to optimize around how you're going to put your 15 cards in play, and ultimately the net result of everything was that I was like, this is good, I'd play it if people wanted to, I don't feel the need to pick up the new one myself.
I did like the art. I agree the goblins are charming, but I did think the art was nice.
I like the art, I definitely like the art, I think the original art holds up better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I very much gravitate to two-player experiences and just like that kind of taut decision space. So, I mean, like a game that I still, well, now I don't know where it is, but I haven't gotten rid of it yet, at least I don't think I have, is Bushido. I don't know where I put it. But it's like, people just think it's kind of like okay, but I just love like little two-player card games where it's all about kind of dance between. Also, it's like a martial arts combat game, which obviously I have a definite affinity for. But
Devin, have you ever played Magic or Pokemon?
I have not. I've played Magic once with somebody else's cards, and I have never played Pokemon other than the video game.
That might be fun to play Magic.
I have no... I mean, it's why I was so mad about SoulForge, because I like two-player card game experiences where it's head-to-head and you're playing... Like, so, you know, like, I have no doubt that I would enjoy, you know, Pokemon or Magic or the other things. The issue that I have with a lot of games like that is the... if you want to play them at the level that I would want to play them at, in terms of, like, competitive and smartness and stuff like that, you kind of have to... stay with the meta of all of the it's like
it's pay to play.
Yeah, you're buying new stuff all the time, and I kind of like an existing static structure that has all of the nuances of two-player within that without having to buy new waves of content.
In other words, Radlands. You want to play Radlands.
I mean, Radlands, Star Wars Rebellion. I mean, even once you buy a certain amount of it, God tier to an extent, I really do want to keep playing more God tier. I had a lot of fun playing that.
Well, that's good, because it's on the list of games you and I are supposed to play.
I got it at my house for when you guys come. So.
But anyways, that's my Gosu. By the way, Eric, I'll second what Devin said, which is, by all means, interrupt me whenever you see me.
Please always say hi.
Yeah. If we look tired, it's because we probably are, but that doesn't mean we don't want to talk to you.
Well, and usually talking
tired right now.
peps us up.
Yes.
Even if we're tired, if someone talks to us, then we walk away smiling, being like, "Oh my gosh, that was so nice," instead of just being like exhausted and dealing with each other.
Yes, exhausted and dealing with each other is the correct term. But no, the tired thing is
if you
real.
guys aren't around, it's just us complaining about Gosu X. Like, that's all it is. So, and by us, I just mean two of them.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, Meg, what's your pick?
Can I do this?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
What's this?
The game that's on the table?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, guys, this is maybe not even going to fit. Oh, no. Oh, Alex, the way you put it away, I don't think I
Just
can
hold
pick it
it. If you hold it close from the bottom, you should be able to pick it up.
Oh my gosh.
And now maybe I can...
Just for everybody else, I feel like you two are like the grumpy old men from Secondhand Lions that like are just like, I don't care with the way you put it up. Well, you wouldn't even put it up.
We're the two people from the Muppets.
Yeah,
where we're like
you're the
laughing
two
and
old guys
joking.
No, but like they're too happy together. You have to find people that are more cantankerous in the relationship.
Going directly.
The two Muppet guys send their chaos outward. You guys send yours reverberating against you.
We direct it at each other.
You do need to watch our Twitch content in general, our live content. We may...
Last night was crazy.
we may simultaneously be very, very good friends and also
Frenemies.
sometimes murdering each other. But yeah.
So this is the Exit Game Advent Calendar, and if you can hear it, I don't know if you can. There's a bell in here, and we haven't gotten to do the bell part yet, and I really want to. So Alex and I have been playing through this because he needs a Santa expert to explain to him what all the Santa things mean. And it has been so much fun.
Who's Santa?
Who's Santa? He's my second favorite fictional character.
Who's your first favorite fictional
I'm
character?
not going to make that joke on.
Okay, cool.
So, now I'm pouring it all out. This is a slight spoiler alert, guys, so you're going to see. But there's all these little doors, and inside the doors, it's like all of them are very different worlds that it's almost like Nightmare Before Christmas, where you're going into very, very different worlds and doing puzzles in all these different kinds of rooms. And the story behind it, which I don't think is a spoiler, is that there's something that you're helping Santa find. Something was stolen from Santa, and now you're going through all these rooms trying to help him in this village find the thing. And the story of it has been so much fun. As someone who's getting so excited for Christmas, we were playing through it yesterday. A lot of the puzzles were challenging, but we were getting it. So it was one of those balances where it felt like we were working toward it, and it was definitely tough, but we were able to figure it out. It's been a delightful time. Absolutely delightful.
To clarify that we were getting it, at one point I'm just opening doors because I just think that's what you're supposed to do. And Meg's like, why are you opening doors? I'm like, because it says a thing. Meg is getting it. I'm like kind of helping out.
Yeah. This one was hilarious how I did it immediately.
Oh yeah, there's another one. That's the other one. You just like go through the puzzle. You're like, okay, I'm folding, and you're like, I'm sorry, Alex. I think I may have done this on my own. I didn't realize I was done.
Yeah, it's one where you cut the thing out. I don't want to spoil too much, but you cut something out and then you do something with the paper. And he was reading the directions, so I'm just doing it as he's saying the directions. And then all of a sudden I was like, the puzzle's done.
Most of the puzzles do involve us starting to do things and then hitting that roadblock and collaborating. Most of them go that way. One of them, she just started to do things and solved it. But,
I would say if you're celebrating Christmas, it does go through 24 days. It's 24 puzzles starting with December 1st. I don't think that matters. We went through about 5 of them yesterday. So even if you want something to do over Christmas break or during like the actual Christmas holiday, you could probably do it in about 2 days if you were, going through it the whole time. I highly recommend it for Christmas.
Yeah, and speaking of someone who doesn't really celebrate Christmas, I still enjoyed it. It's an exit game. It's a bunch of boxes. It's a sequential puzzle. I enjoy the cleverness of the system. It's very charming in the way those have those little rooms set up. So yeah, overall enjoying it so far.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, Alex, you kind of broke Amber's brain the other night when you said you were coming over to my house and it was going to be the first time that you were in a house with a Christmas tree. And it just, she did not know how to process that. She was like, she's like, how have you never been around a Christmas tree?
So for any viewers who are confused by this, as somebody who's very Orthodox and Jewish and religious, growing up, we don't celebrate Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with Christmas, I just don't celebrate it. All my friends don't really celebrate Christmas. And so while I definitely have many friends who are not Jewish, growing up, I didn't really hang around that many, non-Jewish friends' houses, especially not at Christmas time. And so I'll be at Devin's in a week and a half, or a week even. I'll be at Devin's, oh my gosh,
On
I'll be
Monday.
at Devin's on Monday, and I will be for the first time ever in a house with a set up Christmas tree.
Now, you've been around set up Christmas trees, though, like at the
Yes.
mall.
Malls, squares, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've watched movies. I definitely like movies with Christmas trees
Watch
in them.
movies.
I've watched movies. That's a Gentile thing, right? You guys
Gentile
watch
thing. You guys
movies?
watch-
I've watched movies. I've watched movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like, even Die Hard, which is more of a Hanukkah movie, but like it has Christmas trees in it.
Did you know Jurassic World takes place during Christmas?
Do you know which one?
Jurassic World
I did not know that.
takes place during Christmas break.
Cool. Awesome.
Oh, wow. That's definitely one that we don't have to bring into the catalog of like classic Christmas movies.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie, just so
I watched recently, I think it was when I was traveling or if I was just at home doing something, I watched the newest one, like Dominion.
I have not watched
And
it yet.
I was like, these have just literally just pooped into a toilet and flushed themselves. I'm like, this has just gone so downhill.
Interesting, because I've enjoyed the last ones with Chris, what's his name?
Me too. I also have, yeah.
No, they don't hold. Okay,
We all have, yeah.
the original Jurassic Park is obviously the best Jurassic Park, period. And it holds up, by the way. I've rewatched it, it holds up. But I have enjoyed, I mean, I think 2 and 3 from the originals are kind of a little bit more forgettable. And then I've enjoyed the newer ones without them.
Yeah.
I think only one of these 6 Jurassic movies is a good movie. The others I've definitely enjoyed.
Yeah. I feel like similar to maybe the new Star Wars movies. I feel like a lot of the new franchise releases just across like Star Wars, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park and stuff. I feel like so many of them are trying to like weigh so heavily into the like nostalgia and fan service rather than like actually functioning as good movies. Like every 5 seconds, in the Jurassic Dominion, they're like, should we do a story bit? And they're like, no, let's not do a story bit. They're like, but what if we did like a da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, and Jeff Goldblum.
That, by
It's
the
a
way,
movie, right?
It
If
is-
we just layer these together across 3 hours, it's a movie, right?
I happen to think that particular audio segment
Somebody
is one of
said
the
chicken run in chat.
best.
Oh my goodness. Chicken run.
Gremlins.
Anyways,
Chicken run.
Devin, with all that said, what's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is a game that was taught to me without a lot of errors by Alex, and it is Czar.
Oh.
Thursday night, the first full night that all 3 of us were at PAX, we went to a camp co-op get-together, which was hosted by the lovely Stacy Everdell, who's in chat right now, and then it was attended by a lot of the camp co-op group. So George, our unemployed lawyer, was there. Bryce was there. George's friend Alex was there. Rog McPherson came. A girl named Sam, who I have never met before. And then Bryce's wife, Callie. And a lot of people were there. And then Nelson and Roberto and Kate and other board vendors came as well. But Alex and I had to make an excursion halfway through the night to go set things up at the Airbnb, which had kind of a late check-in. So we left. And when we came back, we went from, us playing games to everybody was in the middle of a game. And Meg was kind of,
Running.
organizing and running a
Cartographers.
cartographer's game. And they were right
I
in the middle
forced
of
them
it,
all to
so-
play cartographers.
So Alex and I didn't want to butt in, and there also wasn't any table room, so we went to kind of one of the overflow sections, and we were just playing a game to waste some time while they were finishing that. And Alex was like, "Hey, have you played any of these abstracts like Quarto and stuff like that?" I think Alex was looking for Corridor, but they didn't have it. And then he saw Czar, and so he taught Czar to me, and I had a delightful time. Like it was a really cool. I like Shobu a lot. I like Talk whenever Alex has taught that to me. So these kind of like abstract thinky games. I'm not good at chess, but I always have loved kind of more like classically styled abstract experiences. And so Czar was a lot of fun. It's a game in which you have a lot of intersecting lines with a small vacuum in the middle that you can't move through. But the process is you have 3 different types of discs in varying quantities, and if you ever run out of any one type, you lose. And so you are always trying to move, and you have a option of capturing, and then you also have an option of building up and stacking yours to where they become unable to be taken from anything that is lower than it. Anything that is equal to or higher can steal it, but anything that's lower cannot. And so it's this really cool like shifting board in which not only are you trying to raise the value of your own precious like limited tiles that still remain or limited pieces that remain, you're also navigating and trying to like pin in your opponent's pieces. But also the more you move and the longer the game goes on, you actually can isolate and remove paths of movement, because if there's nothing to build on or nothing to capture on, you can't go down that line. So it's really interesting because the play space gets tighter and more worrisome the longer you go. And it was just a very quick game. You know, we were just playing it for like 15 minutes in between stuff, but immediately I kind of like,
Stopped me.
like got onto that, and I really I was just saying I liked the game, Alex. I wasn't gonna say I beat you.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You managed to get me down into a corner. You isolated my piece, and you set me up for like you're like you just can't escape now. There's nowhere to move. And then he killed one of my pieces. It's a very elegant game. One of my favorite abstracts. It's from the GIF series of games, which I have played. I want to say I've played all of the GIF series, but I've slowly gotten rid of most of them. And the two I have left standing are Yinch and Tsar. There's a bunch of others that are very satisfying. Devon is satisfying. Zertz is satisfying. Link is satisfying, but I think Link ultimately just feels like a slightly inferior Tsar, and Devon I think doesn't hold on as well, and Zertz is a little confusing. But they're all good in different ways, and there's others I didn't even mention yet. But yeah, Tsar and Yinch are my two favorite in that series.
Yeah, no, I definitely liked it, and I've had a lot of people that have talked about those. You, Jeremy Howard, and other people have mentioned how good all of those different series are, and I've never played any of them, so playing that made me go, oh, maybe I will like all those other ones as well.
Yeah, excellent. And with that, we get to move to our first pick in Crowdfunding Corner, and we're going to go straight back to Devin. So Devin, if you want to hit us up with your pick.
Did Meg talk about her game?
Yeah.
It was the exit game.
Sorry.
We spent half an hour talking about Christmas and Hanukkah and whether
That's
or not...
why I forgot to talk. I thought we were just talking about you and Christmas.
I was gonna say, it's so nice, Devin, that Alex taught you a game completely how to play, before you guys sat down to play it. That's very kind.
You know, the nice part about this is that I probably won't hear any more about Mythic Mischief. This will be the new one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So my game that Alex has got posted up there for you guys is Henchmania. This is actually the new edition of a game. It's a second edition. And I got this because the kind of media group that works with ICE and Founders, if you're familiar with that kind of Kickstarter game, they also reached out about Henchmania, just announcing that it was on the way. And my brother and I have actually written a script about henchmen because I think it's such a interesting and amusing topic, like the idea of these people that don't have a lot of personal agency but are always willing to scheme and do stuff on behalf of usually an ungracious kind of master. I mean, essentially, the whole premise of the minions. But anyways, this just seems like they've elevated and updated the art, and they've changed some rule designs, and there's some extra components in here. But it seems like a really quick, light game that I am immediately gripped by the artwork. I love how disgusting these humans look. If you scroll through the Kickstarter page or watch the Kickstarter video, it's just it's kind of like if someone took the Miko's artwork and made it more photorealistic rather than flat animated. And they're just they're really grotesque humans. And I love the art design of it. And I play with a lot of people who aren't into heavier games, and the idea of having a 2 to 5 player, I think it plays probably better at 4 or 5-ish, but playing a card-based game in which you're trying to elevate your own status and points based off of the use of these different henchmen. It just sounds fun. It sounds light, and I think I have enough heavy games right now, so something like this just seemed to appeal to me.
Mm.
Yeah, that's basically so. This one that the art definitely looks grotesque. It looks a little on the lighter side, which is why it's one that I've seen it, but I haven't heavily. In fact, I'm seeing an unemployed lawyer in their chat saying it's a very lighthearted take, that game. That's the sense I got of it. Have you played it yet, Devin?
No, I have not played it yet. I don't have a review copy of it. It was more of just like a, hey, check this out email, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I realized, we've been so busy preceding PAX and with PAX that I just didn't realize that it's live. So I've kind of like missed the window in terms of trying to do some content on it beforehand. But it seems very, yeah. I knew that it was Take That, and I knew that it was light, but I kind of, the idea of having an updated version of a game means I feel like they might have streamlined out some of the worst aspects of the original if
Cool.
it had it.
Yeah. For me, it's one that I'm definitely happy to play. Not rushing to get it yet. Just Take That is always a mechanic that I'm very nervous about. It can be very lighthearted and fun when done right, or it can just be the worst when done wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Successful Geek is late. He had some meetings, so he asked us to start over. So
That's not a problem.
I'm Alex from Board Game Co., and this is Alex and Meg of the Morning. Dev is that bearded man there who doesn't know what Christmas is. And let's just get started.
I like Scrabble. Let's talk about Scrabble.
I like Scrabble.
I like Scrabble.
I actually went to a historical convention this weekend.
Yes. Anyways, with that, we're going to go ahead and dive into our new segment, which is, what are we calling this one? What are we calling it? Do we have a name?
What are we going to?
Did we pick out a name?
Hot. I think it's
hot or not?
Hot or not, I think.
Hot takes and cooldowns?
Hot takes and cooldowns.
Those are the two.
We're working on our naming conventions for a bunch of these segments. We're going to have them all ironed out at some point.
But hot or not just makes it feel like this is that one thing from like the Social Network movie where it's like the
slide.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to actually slide these little bars back and forth, so that is a good accuracy as far as just like the back and forth of this. But we're going to be going over the BGG Hotness, how this segment iterates over the next few weeks, something we're going to be figuring out together. The BGG Hotness is a list of 50 games that are trending. We're not going over all 50. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 of them, which is...
No, we're going over all 50.
We're going all over all 50 of them. But it's not even necessarily a hot or not necessarily. It's more just conversational about why they're here, what we think, brief personal thoughts about what's going on with these games, starting off with the fact that we have My Little Everdell as the #1 spot. Why is that trending?
Well,
it's
it was
new.
just recently announced. So, and
Yeah.
Everdell is like a top 100 game of all time.
I know someone's known about it for a while, but for the rest of us...
Yeah, I mean, a while is a relative term. I got this in a box like 5 days before PAX, and they're like, super secret, do not release any content until PAX. And I was like, I have 5 days to play this game and cover it and review it, which is not hard because it's a very accessible game. It's basically Everdell, but smaller and cuter, maintaining the spirit of Everdell. If you're looking... I even think... I would even play it... I don't know if I'd suggest it, but I would play it with, full-on adults as far as just the... I think
Full-on adults?
Full-on adults. I'm saying because it's meant to be kid-friendly and accessible. Like, I played it with my 7-year-old, and he enjoyed it. But I think this is one that I would still enjoy even, I think it's Marvel United Weight Class, which Marvel United is a game that I am happy to play with my regular game group. It doesn't often get suggested, but I like it. It's fun and simple. And My Love Everdell captures the feeling of Everdell in about half an hour or so, which makes it easier to dive into. And of course, it's Everdell.
I have a question about it, Alex, that you might have, experience with. How does it compare to My Little Scythe?
Ooh, I don't love My Little Scythe.
Okay.
I have it. Go ahead, Evan.
Well, I wanted to hear what your answer to that, because that's what I was thinking.
So there's a few games that are comparable. My Little Scythe and My Little Stone Age are good ones. I think My Little Scythe is a good game that captures the spirit of Scythe while being more accessible. I don't particularly love My Little Scythe. I play it and I have it because my kids like it, but it's not one I'm often pulled in by. My Little Stone Age is another good example of a worker placement game that they tried making it more accessible, and I thought that was completely forgettable. Like, I genuinely forgot how to play. I remember playing it being let down, and I don't remember how the game plays. Little games are often around, and how well they capture the larger, bigger game is always a more complicated conversation. But I think My Love Everdell does a great job of capturing the feeling of Everdell while being very different at the same time.
So, for me, I'm like... I feel like I'm probably going to be in the minority on this. I have almost zero interest in this game. Like absolutely none. And that's with the fact that I have a kid that I could play this with. And part of that for me is that I don't feel the need to have a modified rendition of a game that is reminiscent of another game that I own that allows me to play it with people that I may not play the original game. Like, to go to Meg's point on My Little Scythe. I played My Little Scythe, and I was like, this is marginally okay.
Mm.
And I wish I was just playing Scythe. And I know that I can't play Scythe, maybe. I mean, honestly, Avery actually picks up games pretty well. I could probably play Scythe with him and just kind of like slowly filter in rules over time.
Mm-hmm.
But I really am not a fan of when an IP feels the need to create versions that could appeal in all ways, because to me, like in my collection, I just have other stuff I'd rather play with Avery. I'd rather play, Crokinole. I'd rather play my Tiny Epic Galaxies and have him kick my butt. I'd rather play any of a bunch of other games that aren't a diluted or shifted version of a game. I don't care. I just do not care. And maybe it works on its own. I just have zero interest in figuring out if it does. And I definitely know that with I love Everdell. I have it on my phone. I play it I can't wait for the expansions to get on my phone. I've had the whole collection at one point, and I have slowly gifted it away to different people, just because I want other people to try it. But I don't.
I happen to think Milo Everdell, I don't necessarily think you're the target audience for it. I think it is adorable, easy to teach, plays in a short time frame, teaches you the mechanics of just general turn-based tableau building, worker placement, and all that. I think it's a great gateway game for gateway players or for young kids. Whether or not you're the target audience is a different story, but I think it does an excellent job. Like, I think this is going to be, to some degree, a staple in that genre, that gateway friendliness.
So the point that I guess I forgot to bring up, that is it's I was gonna say it's still the selfish part of this. This whole argument is selfish, but it's not just that I'm not the target audience. It's that if I play My Little Everdell with my kid, then that means just by the association with that game, I am less likely to play Everdell with myself or with other people, because I will have just spent time in that world with that kind of experience with my kid. Mm-hmm. And I like Everdell. So I want to play Everdell. And I don't want to diminish my interest in that game by playing something else that is similar enough to where I feel like I've played Everdell. And so I want to always have a full level of interest in the games in my collection, and that not be affected or shifted by association with another game. They could have just made My Little Everdell literally be any other IP or theme, but because Everdell is such a successful IP, it made it that. So yes, I'm not the target audience, and I don't want it.
Before we move to the next game, I just want to point out Harv's comics. I think it's amazing. We need more kitty versions of beat games. Terraforming My Little Mars, My Mini Arc Nova, Kitty Nemesis, and Little John's Company.
Terraforming My Little Mars.
Kitty Nemesis is the best.
Oh, I think Little John's Company is amazing.
The idea of little chibi aliens you're running through. I would actually buy that.
I feel like Terraforming My Little Mars should be Terraforming the Moon.
Terraforming the Moon. In any case, Pax Unplugged. This is one that I know nothing about. I know it's from Phil Eklund. It's from Iron Game Design, I want to say, but that's the extent of my knowledge. I've never really played much in the Pax series.
Yeah, this looks like broody, moody, like Pirates of the Caribbean. Just the art direction of it. I don't know anything about this. I have not played any of the Pax series. But I'm just assuming that it is in the hotness because it's new.
It is new. They just announced it. I know that. That's the extent of what I know.
Terraforming Mercury.
Terraforming
It's just so cute.
Yeah. So from there we have Ains Trespass Odyssey. I don't know who knows what about this one.
So I know that this is the huge campaign that people have been waiting years for, and I know that it is just. I assume this one's in the vogue because it's just now fulfilling. People are getting it to their doorsteps. I mean, and I've seen Jeremy Howard, I've seen a couple other people post pictures, and it is just like, it is huge. It is like Kingdom Death Monster, but maybe 1.5 times as thick. Like,
yeah, the box is insane. This is a big, and that's only wave 1. I'm pretty sure it's a wave 2 kind of thing. But Aeon's Trespass Odyssey had a whole bunch of content, a whole bunch of ways to buy different amounts of just stuff for it. It's giving you, I believe the selling point was almost a hybrid of 7th Continent exploration combined with Kingdom Death, the board gameplay. That was the general pitch of it. I had a chance to play the prototype at one point, post the Kickstarter actually. I had a chance to dive into it, and I thought it was very large. That was my big takeaway. I thought there was so much content. I was like, this is a game I'm never going to be able to properly dive into. I didn't really have a chance to dive into the 7th Continent aspect of it, the exploration stuff, but I did have a chance to dive into the general gameplay. Definitely feels like a Kingdom Death style gameplay of the tactical arena and all that. I think it's going to be a game that has a very popular reception from the type of people who want this game. I just think it's a lot of content.
I see why you're laughing, Devin. Kingdom Death Mommy.
Oh, I'm not even laughing at my own joke. I'm laughing at George's response. He's just like, you know what you need to do.
Oh, you do.
Make it come to pass.
Oh, you do. That's true.
Kingdom Death Mommy.
That's not what he's referring to. You know that, right?
Yeah, I totally know.
Oh,
I'm also in on the joke.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
I know.
He doesn't know.
I do know. I'm in on the joke.
He doesn't know. This is amazing. Moving on to Heat. Moving on to Heat. Now, Heat is one that we all... Like, that's not true. I'm the only one who talked about it on my list. I don't know why I said we all. But it's one that... I think I said we all because whenever I asked people what your favorite game at PAX was, a consistent amount of people said Heat. A consistent amount. I did not have a chance to play it. I still want to play it. But Heat is Days of Wonder's newest game. It's a racing game. I think loosely based off of... Not Bicycle. It's the... What's it called? There's a racing game with bicycles. But it's not called Bicycle.
Are you trying to remember the thing that you forgot last time?
Correct.
Flamme Rouge.
Flamme Rouge, exactly. That's the one. But yeah, it's definitely... A lot of people are talking about this one, probably because of the exposure of PAX, probably because it's starting to be sold and be available. But I definitely want to try it, but that's as far as I know with this one.
We all right out there? Okay.
Any aspects of Heat?
I got nothing.
I will say it is kind of crazy. I feel like in the space of just like the last 2 years, racing games, it's like they went from like none of them to like boom, a lot of them, and it's kind of crazy. And so it is like I feel like Alex, you and I started off excited about all of them, and now you and I are like, well, we need to be a little bit more discerning because there's a lot that are coming out, and it's like, you can't just have 10 of these games side by side in your collection.
Yeah, that's and the problem for me as well is racing is just not a mechanic I tend to dive into a lot. But this is more pure racing, contrasted with a lot of the racing games you and I have been playing recently are more fighting racing. I believe this is pure racing, which does mean there's a little bit more space for my collection because of that. Also, Kevin, thanks for jumping in and for the super chat as usual. We are not currently discussing video games, but give us time. Give us time. Devin will get us there.
Also, Kevin, I don't remember if I said this last time. I saw Alex's board. Wow. Oh my gosh, man. Looks so beautiful. You're a prince. I'm going to say Alex's thing. He always says you're a prince, but you're a prince.
I'm seeing a chat. Zimbo saying the overall consensus on BGG is that ATO is better than KDM. I'm curious how much of an overall consensus that is. I don't know, but I'm certainly intrigued. Yeah.
I will say, Aeon's Trespass Odyssey, I haven't looked at the art of it, but if the art is more consistent with Aeon's End art, or like the Aeon world, like within...
Aeon's Trespass Odyssey has nothing to do with Aeon's End.
Yeah, I totally knew that. That's why I was bringing it up, so that you can make sure to clarify for the people that didn't know. But I was, once again, in on it. I know what we're talking about. I know what Jordan was talking about too.
I did make that mistake when the game first came out, just for the record. When the game first came out, I thought it was part of the Aeon's End, series of games. I mean, it's no reason why, it's just the word Aeon, but both of us, like, a lot of connections there. And then I just kind of saw it launch, and I was like, this is not Aeon's End, and found that it was not Aeon's End.
Well, yeah. Regardless of it, I will say, the thing that might be going for me if I end up trying to find it down the road is that I'm always intrigued by KDM. But I'm not super, like, I'm not in as much to the art of KDM. Like, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like kind of grim, dark kind of stuff. I have stuff in my collection that matches that. I love Bloodborne and stuff like that. But there's like it, KDM, and then also the other one, Madara, are just not really like an art scheme that is like super appealing to me. And so the idea of having something that is in the same vein as KDM but might have maybe a more appealing theme or world to attach to is something that like does get my interest.
Interesting.
So,
and for the next 4, maybe we'll stick it to 8 this time just because there's 4 on the screen. But we have Frosthaven, which I think might be able to talk about this one.
I think technically I'm not supposed to talk too much about it though. Isn't that interesting? That
I don't think.
is this that indie booth that was like in the corner?
Yeah, it's a small 1v1 minis game where you're fighting across a grid against each other. Very short, about 20-minute play.
Is this that one that Alex taught, but it was like really shittily taught?
Yes.
Hey.
No, Frosthaven's, I think technically we're not supposed to say too much about how it's been playing as media that got the copies. There's an embargo until December 15th. But I will say I've been absolutely loving it. It's everything I expected. Of the starting classes, similar to something like Gloomhaven, there are some that I'm vibing with and some I am not vibing with whatsoever. So I've definitely had a lot better plays recently. I think that they did a lot of really great changes. The rule books are a lot better and more accessible. They show you different things like the levels for how difficult and how long a scenario might be. They set up the stickers a lot better to keep secrets. There's a lot of secrets and a lot more envelopes for things to be hidden for you. But for anyone who knows like Gloomhaven and those types of games, draws a line, it is classic Gloomhaven. It's what you would expect, but done a lot better.
Also, can we acknowledge the fact that Board Game Dave bought a pack of cards just so Alex could show him a magic trick?
I was debating running over to grab a deck of cards. Yeah, I was hanging out with Dave for the first.
Dude, Alex, do that thing. Do that thing.
It's ruining it for me. Do the pen one. Can you do the pen thing?
I can do the pen one. Yeah, the pen one's actually a fun trick. The pen one is basically. Let's go ahead and do this over here.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. This is a teach the kids at home trick, okay? So we got a pen over here that we're gonna hold on to it, like I'm gonna hand the camera. I'm just going to let go.
Oh, you've got your finger from the other hand on it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But here's the cool part. If you just give it a little quick wave.
You have another pin that's in your watch? Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, I figured it out.
I love that one because it's a teaching and then mess with you.
That was surprising. He did that to me one time when we were on a call, and the second time when he pulled it away, I was like, whoa, what? This is actual magic now.
Yeah.
This is
actual magic.
Guys, it's like that one moment in The Prestige when you're like, he's been cloning himself the whole time.
Spoilers! Anyways.
If I'm spoiling The Prestige for you, go watch the Key and Peele skit on spoilers and then get out of my face.
But yeah, no, I definitely do try to do magic. It can be a lot of fun. In fact, I don't know, lots of things. Well, it's hard like figuring out where I am on camera, whatever it is. But now do it without a watch, Alex. We'll do it next time.
I'll do it without a watch.
But yeah,
he's gonna not have a watch and he's gonna still do it and he's gonna turn. It's gonna be like 8 pins. It's just pin.
It's gonna be magnets inside his body.
I'll glue it to my wrist for the trick. Okay.
I'll glue it to my wrist.
I'll glue it. It's gonna be like a 1 week investment in the trick where he's just walking around with a super glued pen and he's like, just you wait.
By the way, speaking of Key and Peele, that feels like a Key and Peele shtick. Where one of them teaches them the trick, they figure it out, and it keeps escalating with how ridiculous it is again and again and again. Just shoot a hole in your hand.
Anyway, Frosthaven's great.
Frosthaven is great. Frosthaven's doing
That's extreme.
Frosthaven is incredible. I don't know what we're allowed to say and not allowed to say. We're not going to overly worry about it. It's Gloomhaven. So if you like Gloomhaven, it's going to have all the things you like about Gloomhaven. It has a little bit more going on as far as the outpost phase.
Yes.
Yeah, the outpost phase. Yeah, and so it's gonna have a lot of the fun things you like. I like the character I'm playing so far. I'm playing as the Blink Blade. I like their timing. I do find I'm a little bit more AP prone with that character, which is something that Meg has been very tolerant of, as I take forever on my turns. Which the irony is I specifically didn't pick a different class because I was worried I would take forever on my turns, but with the class.
It's a new class, though. Once you get the hang of it, you're only adding one card every time you level up, so you'll get used to it more and more.
Yeah, and I keep getting stuck on the same card where there's one particular card that I keep trying to play the top and bottom. So I'll pick it out. Yeah.
I felt super unconscious, or super. I felt
Unconscious?
super unconscious. I was sleeping last night and I felt super unconscious. I felt self-conscious playing Gloomhaven with you two on Camp Co-op. So once I got the PC set up, because someone was like, "You need to play more Gloomhaven," and I was like, "I swear, guys, I played it for a while." And so once I got the PC set up here and had it finished, I was like, I want to just see if it runs Gloomhaven much better than my laptop. I want to test it out. So I put it on like max settings and I hopped into Gloomhaven on Steam and I loaded up my level 5 Cragheart and my level 5 Tinkerer. And I went into went in cold to a scenario and I won it, got both my battle goals and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't do it. Yay!
Good job. You helped us win. You ran in, you distracted them, you got slaughtered, you helped us win that scenario.
won. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but, all right. Moving on from Frosthaven, which we can totally talk about.
Why is Arc Nova trending? Is that just because of PAX coverage? Like, anything new happened with there?
Is it possibly a remnant leftover from Essen when that map pack came out?
Maybe.
It could be. It feels like
because that map pack was in Essen but it maybe the US it became available recently.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, Arc Nova's a game I still need to play. Meg, you haven't played this one, right?
No.
Yeah, and Devin, we all want to play it. This might be one that Devin, do you have it?
I don't. I have it, but I can see if there are people around.
You could throw it on the list of things we might get to. I just don't know if it's a high priority. I know how to play it well enough I could dive straight into a game. I don't know if I can teach it right now. I'd have to like refresh myself.
I'd rather like spend 2.5 hours doing a different game.
I'm fine with that.
Arc Nova, able to play it.
I've held off on reviewing Arc Nova for a while just because I haven't been incentivized enough to table it. I liked it. I really should get rid of my copy, but I probably should play it a few more times to like really review it and do a play this not that and Terraforming Mars vs Arc Nova. But yeah. Anyways, number 7 is going to be Endless Winter Paleo Americans. And that one I think is still just trending just from the fact that it's constantly delivering, which means every day more people get their copies and every day more people are, excited about Endless Winter.
Yeah. Yeah, it deserves it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I am interested to have that conversation between the three of us, between all three of those.
Oh, that's going to be fun too. We have to continue that one. Yeah, we have to play the Dune expansion first, the new Dune expansion. We have to. Yeah.
I know. I was bummed that we didn't get to that with Henry. I would have loved to have played that at PAX.
Our Discord community knows the entire story.
Yeah, I made him tell the story last night on stream, including Isaac's remark at the end.
What was the general consensus?
The general consensus was I think a tolerance for how ridiculous I am and an acknowledgement that you all should have known that if I say something, I mean exactly that, no more, no less.
Yeah, chat was basically like, that's strange, but also you should be careful of how...
Alex.
They were like, Alex's words are always so intentional, he clearly said it the way he meant it. And it's like, that doesn't mean we heard it the right way. But they were kind of backing up like how Alex talks.
It was both. There was an acknowledgement that it's crazy, and it was like, that doesn't make sense, but also, you guys should have heard him.
It's like, it's such a...
Foster the Meeple. I don't know if it's Jamie or Jeff, but I'm still... So there's a list,
I bet it's Jamie.
Well, either one. They're both amazing. But yeah, I was great to see you. I was so happy to see you. I'm sad we didn't have a chance to actually continue to play, to like hang out or whatnot. There's a few people who are on my list that like I need to like... There's a few. I also like before you play, I ran into her briefly on the way to something and then had to run to the next thing, and so I couldn't... There's a bunch of people who I need to actually make time to hang out with the next convention. PAX is just a hard one. It's so short.
So they're up in, I believe, Nova Scotia. I wouldn't be against trying to go see them.
So
I would love
potential to talk with you guys.
Yes.
Ooh.
What?
I just was wondering if Amber was making a stealth appearance.
She
What's
sure
up,
is.
Amber?
Dun, dun.
Finish what?
I was gonna say when we were talking about the magic thing, I do love in your History of Alex video when you say, like, I got into Magic. Not that kind of Magic, Magic the Gathering. And then I got into Magic. Not Magic the Gathering, Magic.
Yes. I like doing that. I had a lot of fun
It was
doing
funny.
that. Dragon's Tomb. It was also very sad to see you there.
Aw, it was.
We actually have a picture of you. We got a picture. But then past that, we have number 8, which is Tiletum. So we have Tiletum, which is our number 8 pick over here. And that one's going to be, it's one of the T-series of games. I haven't played it. I don't know a thing about it. I know it just came out. It makes sense that it's here.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything else about it.
I don't know anything about it.
Devin, you got anything?
2, which one?
Tiletum.
Yeah. I
That's a
also love when compound words are created from 2 different words and it becomes the name of a town in Europe that I don't know about.
Exactly. And with that, we're going to go ahead and dive straight into, speaking of which, we've done enough of this as we talked, but we can go straight to talking about PAX. And because I think that's the topic of the week. We named the video as such, but usually this is the part where our Patreon sponsor...
Did we talk about Flamecraft and Undaunted?
Oh, no, we can go back to the Hotness. Let's go back to the Hotness. I'll go back to the next 2. Cool. Let's do that.
Oh, I thought you just said we were doing 10.
I did, and then it was taking long enough that I decided to cut it to 8. I mentioned it briefly.
I don't listen to you.
And maybe when Amber was talking.
Maybe so.
So you were listening to the correct person.
Truth.
Number 9
Truth.
is Flamecraft.
Adorable.
Number 9 is Flamecraft. I got access to actually filmed it yesterday, but I got access to the deluxe copy of this now. So I gifted away the retail edition that I had. The gold coins in Flamecraft are maybe one of my favorite components ever, because they feel like the British sterling pounds, and they're just like so thick and chunky.
They're beautiful.
My favorite gold coins in any game, I think, are the ones I actually have bundled in my Foundations of Rome.
I was about to say, you love those are awesome coins.
They're $60. Yes.
The Merchants of the Dark Road, that one has beautiful dice as well. That's probably my favorite dice.
Coins.
Yes. Oh my god.
I love
coffee.
when I roll my 6-sided coins. It's awesome.
That game does also have beautiful dice, though.
You know they just had a $2 million Kickstarter for coin dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're joking.
No.
With the little ball in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're dice that you flip, and there's a little ball that kind of bounces around the various areas, and so as it lands, it'll eventually, the ball in the coin settles on a number.
No, this is bullshit.
$2 million, Devin.
You are lying to me right now. You're absolutely pulling what is the name of this? I'm looking this up right now.
Dice coins? I don't know, dice coins?
Yeah, I don't remember what they were called, but they were very cool. They even have a video to show how it works. It's very interesting.
Dice you flip like a coin. Oh dice. My gosh.
We're going to pull this up. Flip die, that's what it was.
Die, the world's first dice you can flip. Is that where we're at now?
Chewy Huey says Devin has a closet of dragon plushies. Since we're going to talk about PAX Unplugged, should I get my bag of treasures?
Go for it if you want to.
Since we mentioned dragon plushes,
guys, get past me
in chat, try to guess how many plushes I got.
I want this. I absolutely.
I'm going to be on this camera.
A second, let's go ahead and get you.
I'm in my sweat.
Passing by, ignore the adjustment of the mic. Yeah, flip die to me, I have zero interest in it. Also, I think another thing as well, I think it's the kind of thing that you could possibly, you'd have to test it, you could possibly manipulate it. Now they've done... Go ahead.
Do you see the marketing on this? It says easy to clean, and it shows it insanely caked in dirt, and then they're literally power washing it with a hose.
It's easy to clean.
And then they smash it with a hammer. What D&D scenarios is going on here?
You never played D&D in the woods for the sake of immersion?
We will now.
Yeah. In any case,
by the campfire.
Oh, your campfire stuff is insane. But yeah, that's flip die. So that's a real thing, Devin. But anyways, going to our PAX Uncovered. Oh no, I didn't do. I missed one. Back to the Hotness. Undaunted Stalingrad. That's the last one over there. This is the newest one of the Undaunted series, and it's not comparable to the old ones at all. Well, I mean, it is comparable to the old ones, but it's not comparable to the old ones in the sense that this is the largest. It's absolutely. I think it's 120 missions, something like that. I think it's very campaign based, 2-player head-to-head, Undaunted, in the most immersive version of it. That's what I know about it.
Mhm.
I don't have anything more about it. I just know it's very
Stalingrad
intense.
is definitely a time period in which I'm interested in because, like,
It's over there.
historically, you know, with the like Russian. So like if you've watched Enemy at the Gates or anything like that, like Russians held that city away from the Germans, but then they had an insane amount. Like they had more people than they did weapons, and so it was like you would have like yourself and a partner, and one of you would have the gun, and if they died, like you could pick up the gun and use it, or you'd like be the one to pass in the ammo. And then there was like an absolutely insane, protracted time period of like sniper battles in like the desolated ruins of Stalingrad. So certainly a time period in the military history of World War II that intrigues me. I have not played any of the Undaunted series, but all of them are ones that I would definitely be interested in.
Yeah, I'm interested in this one. I just hate the commitment of it. That's my issue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
In
Now that we
anyways,
made it through all 8.
all
the
8
ones
of
that
them,
we're
we can
going
go ahead to our
Okay.
PAX Unplugged recap.
Before we recap PAX, can I very quickly do show and tell?
Absolutely.
Because I want to do it all at once. That way we don't have to keep going back to it.
We can keep going back to it.
I got this kitty cat guy from Vagrant Song, which is so cool. I forget what the creature is called, but they're in the back of the book where you track your coins. And it actually came with extra junk cards around his neck. So I have him. We
Thought about
also
actually
have...
buying that for you, so I'm glad you ended up getting that.
Here's a dragon.
That
So we
one's
have
cute.
our first dragon to show off, which is a blue dragon.
That's not.
Then,
That's not a flamecraft.
It's not Flamecraft. There's like 4 dragons here. 2 are Flamecraft. Well,
now
that's
we have a
Flamecraft.
flamecraft dragon.
That's a bread dragon.
Alex has never sounded more exasperated than there's like 4 dragons here. We have too many dragons.
Here's another flamecraft dragon. And then
I actually have 2 more across the room. I have mine for the kids.
here's a wicked and wise dragon, which I thought was really beautiful. We had to bring him home. He's very like
I will
velvety
say
on his chest.
my favorite out of all of those is the Vagrant Song one.
And
Vagrant Song.
I think maybe my favorite, I really like the Vagrant Song one, and then I also from Dice Tower got the D4 kitty. So
Oh,
we have a
that's
little
cute.
D4 kitty cat.
I love like Chewy's in chat saying, "I got that Vagrant Song plushie as well. You know, for my kids."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the kid.
Are
Yeah,
there more?
The
No.
red one does work at Fogo de Char. I
Yeah,
think
so-
that's one. I think that is probably my actual favorite thing about Flamecraft is just all of the names of the shops. I love like figuring out all. Of
Yeah,
the-
there's one that's like Taco Bell, but I forget what it is.
There's the Spice Tower. I know that.
But for anyone who is keeping count, I brought home 6 plushes with me. And I'm going to carry them all on the plane like this.
They're my emotional support animals.
These are my babies.
In any case, as far as actual PAX recap, so we didn't really discuss a huge format as far as how this is going to go, and that's because I don't know if we necessarily need one. PAX is an interesting... At this point, we've all gone to a bunch of conventions at different points since they all opened up, and there are different kinds of conventions, different sizes and different everything. PAX is in this middle space, like similar to like Origins or whatnot as far as the sizing of it. It has maybe, 20,000 attendees, somewhere in that range? Maybe a bit more, a bit less, not sure the exact count. Has a decent amount of aisles full of just various booths to go, lots of rooms to play games, just lots of things you can do as far as different stuff there. Lots of hanging out before and after the convention. For me, it was pretty fun. I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. I always enjoy going back to what Eric was saying at the beginning of this thing. I always appreciate when people stop me. You get any number of different comments. I had 2 people who stopped me at this convention that have been watching me since 2,000 subs. Like watching me way back. They got into it. Like both of them thanked me for getting them into Kickstarters, which was weird. I expected a bill, not a thank you. But it's a
bill?
lot of a bill for getting someone into Kickstarter. I expect not the best. It's an expensive hobby. It's an
Yeah.
expensive
They're
hobby.
like, hey, Alex, you owe me to date $3,750.
Yeah, it's always fun being stopped. It's always fun hearing about what people get out of the content. For me, gaming-wise, this is one of the weaker conventions for me, as far as playing games. I enjoyed playing games, I had a lot of fun, but I think the games I played that were the best for me were the ones that I already knew. Like sitting down and playing games like Framework, or, playing Tsar with Devin or whatnot, or,
Sorry,
Welcome to the Moon with you.
I had fun with Kapow.
We haven't gotten to some of them. Kapow was definitely fun. I did enjoy Kapow.
Yeah.
That's the one, if you, Meg, you want to talk about Kapow?
Kapow is a dice rolling game. It's a 1v1.
Gotta say it with more energy. It's literally an onomatopoeia. Like,
Kapow!
Kapow!
thank you. God.
It is a, I was going to say 1v1, but I think they said you can team up and do like 2v2 and things like that. And you can also play solo. But it's just a dice rolling game where it's dice building and then rolling. But I say dice building. You're building your pool, but you're also constructing the dice. I don't know what you call that.
Dice construction, I guess? I mean,
They have like little blank spots where you take little tiles and you put it in.
Well, yes, Alex. Duh. But like this deck construction, I don't know.
Like if you're like building the deck, what would that be? Like deck building?
Yes.
Now I just feel like Alex's process is literally like how the naming conventions have been. you're not like just like you don't roll the dice. You're like almost like allocating them or like
Dice allocation.
Dice allocation. Like it's a weird thing. It's like you're saying a verb, and I'm like, what if we just make it a noun?
It's
A
simple.
verb
It's
and
the
verb
point.
and verb. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. You're playing as like almost comic book type people, and you roll your dice privately. You assign them to the different actions you want to do, and then you reveal both at the same time and fight.
Yeah, to me, it's weird because I feel if the game were done a little differently, I feel it could be the kind of game I prefer over Dice Stone. That because of Dice Stone is such a huge appeal.
I don't know.
We don't know why.
I like them both, but I see what you're saying.
No, I like Dice Stone. I like right now they're in the I like them both category. I'm saying I feel Dice Stone. I feel that Kapow could have had the possibility of exceeding Dice Stone if it had more, if the visual design was better, and if there's more variability to the boards. That would be the big thing for me. But I really
I
did
don't
enjoy
know.
it. Yes.
But
Devin, what was your highlight as far as the convention, playing all that?
no, but just I don't know. Sorry.
Although Petrified is an interesting question. Alex, at what subscriber count would you feel more people found you because you are popular over just finding you by chance because of the algorithm? I don't have a firm answer, but my usual mental gauge is the 5 to 10K range. People who found me past the 5 to 10K range, that's more that I'm now in the board game space. I'm now on Kickstarters. It's easy to find me if you're in the space.
So Devin, we're not in the board game space yet.
Well, Meg, you have 28,000 people on Instagram, and
I
Devin.
wasn't going to say anything.
And
Devin doesn't have 28,000 on Instagram. It doesn't have 5,000.
Well, Devin also
To be a respected board game YouTuber, you need like at least 5K.
No, not respected. Not respected. The question is, at what point does the algorithm send people your way who love you and know you, versus at what point are you just present?
I'm
so to
gonna
speak?
hold my emotional support hat.
But yeah, so I think sub 5 is usually where I think of as being like, the original people who found me before it started to grow in the space. Yeah.
Gotcha.
John Tripp. Devin is all about quality, not quantity.
Devin doesn't use
Do
Instagram.
you even use Instagram? No, I don't.
No,
I'm gonna
because
add
I'll
an
tag
Instagram.
him in things and he never sees them.
Oh, you do? No idea.
I'll do stories and stories expire, so there are some times where I've been like watching you in my office and I'll be
That
like,
is the
oh.
most social media and technology phrase I've ever heard. Stories expire. They're not like here for life.
They're ambient in nature. FYI, the link to Devin's YouTube is broken. Is that seriously true? That is not cool.
Uh-oh.
You're saying after talking about Devin's group, well, there's no way that's true. I'm gonna have to go find that
I
out.
don't know. What link?
The one in this particular video.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious because it's in all the live videos. All the live videos have this. Ambient in nature. Whoops, that's me paying the.
Oh wait, I was gonna say something. Oh, so you were talking about like my perception of PAX Unplugged. So I have kind of,
dear Lord.
that is hilarious. I have kind of come to the determination that I have
this particular video.
two preferences in terms of conventions. So the type of convention that I have never gone to is one that is actually just plain board games. So I haven't been to a Dice Tower West. I haven't been to a any type of more local con or any of the ones that are literally just coming in and playing games. I haven't been to one of those. I would love to go to one of those because I always go to these conventions with the hope that I will get to play games and like actually have time to sit down. But the amount of time that you have with each group of people or each friend or whatever is so minimal that I'm typically, I want to almost not play a game to where I can focus on the time I'm getting with that person. And so Like at PAX Unplugged, my absolute favorite times are post-convention hours. It is post-expo hours when I get to go eat with people, I get to go drink with people, I get to go hang out with people, and like those social settings are my favorite. And even more so than just that, like the social settings in which I feel like I either know everybody that's there or it's a small enough group of people to where it feels like it's easy to get to know them. So I talked about this in my video that I think went up today, but like Wednesday night, I went to go get food and drinks with Henry Audubon at a bar that I like, and I just chatted with him for like 4 hours, and I had a really good time. Thursday night, I crashed your guys' camp co-op dinner, and I had a delightful time. It was wonderful to meet all of the, like, I was talking to Meg about this because Alex is a robot and doesn't have feelings, but, you know, I think my favorite, he's the kind of freaking sociopath that just brings cards to a game.
And instead, I have all of the feelings. I'm exploding with feelings.
And so, I would actually say Petrified. I would actually say Meg is the most extroverted out of the out of the three of us. I would definitely say that. So
it's interesting.
Like, Camp
Petrified
Co-op
might
was
have you pegged.
delightful. Huh?
Petrified's like, I know Meg is the most introverted and Alex is in the middle.
That is interesting.
I think
You
all
think,
of us.
really, you think Meg is the
Because
most
no,
introverted?
I think all of us are actually introverts.
Yeah.
We just
100%.
have learned how to present.
Yeah.
100%.
I only want to be in my office. That's the only place
So-
I want to be.
Well, I was talking about this in my video, is that, like, you know, so Thursday night I felt really, really good at Camp Co-op because even though there were a bunch of people there, I knew most of them because of like the interactions. And I talked about this in my video, is like, it's interesting because when you know people who are like subscribers or viewers or community members on Discord or anything like that, is you have a relationship with them. Like, you have a friendship, you have a connection. And it's just this like kind of weird floating thing that exists in the world because of the internet. But then when you get to meet people, then like it anchors down into like an identifiable person and someone that you get to like really mesh or meld what you know already from online with like a person that's sitting in front of you. And so Camp Co-op, like Thursday night, was not stressful for me at all. It didn't really drain my batteries in terms of like extroverted batteries because I pretty much knew everybody. I just hadn't ever met most of them in person. So Thursday
And it was
night
a great
was a lot
venue.
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like in those
No.
situations, like the very loud bars and things like that can be very difficult. Whereas if it's somewhere where you can hear the people and sit down and just talk and there's room to sit, I think that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, I really enjoy the place. That's something I would love to, like, I don't know what the story is next year and all, that's way too far out, but, like, it's the kind of thing I would love to do again and again whenever we go to PAX.
Yeah. So for me, the thing that was like, the shift for me was Friday night, because Friday night the three of us went to
Cephalofair.
the axe throwing thing with Cephalofair, and I loved the venue. I could have stayed at that venue all night, but the venue was packed with like 75 people.
Yeah.
And
I like the back. The back was, like, kind of quiet.
It was cool.
Well, I didn't know the back existed because when you guys said we're going to go play, I thought you just meant at those small little high top tables that were down the row. I didn't realize there was a whole other corner.
Neither did I until they dragged us there.
That's
or
where
else I
Isaac
would
was
have gone
hiding.
with you guys. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. And so, like, like Friday night, I got to spend time with a few people, like, in there. Like, I got to see Connor, from Inside Up. I got to see Ryan Schoon from Man vs. Meeple. So I saw a couple people that, like, I'm friends with and I know and I like. And then after, like, before we ever got there, I was like, I don't want to be around a big group of people. And then when we got in there, I was like, oh my God, like, this was a bad choice, Devin. So after an hour, thankfully you two were also at the same place. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, after an hour, I was like, I'm done.
And Stacey, I
but-
think the place was called Kick Axe, I think.
Yes, it is called Kick Axe. Kick Axe.
Yeah, it was cool.
So,
Also, Devin, before we move on from that place, let's shout out how freaking athletic you are. Oh my gosh. Devin was killing it, like, hitting bullseyes every time, sticking the axe in so hard into the thing that he had to, like, yank it back out. And then eventually he comes up to me and he's like, I'm now throwing it one-armed just to make it harder.
I didn't say that. I said I like throwing it one-armed because two-armed felt awkward.
You did amazing.
I appreciate that. I like sports. I just don't talk about it with you guys because Alex has zero interest in. I love that in the camp co-op chat there is literally a channel now called Sports Ball.
Well, that's because I tried to convince Meg that Remember the Titans is an excellent movie, and she's like, it's sports. And I'm like, I despise sports. It doesn't matter.
Remember the Titans is an amazing movie.
Thank
oh my
you.
goodness.
Devin, can we watch that when we come to visit you? Can we make Meg watch it?
I would happily force her to watch it. I mean, we made her watch Sausage Party, so we could probably watch Remember the Titans. It seems relatively tame in comparison.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about interest level, not about like PG level. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, the party was great. I enjoyed the party. I thought it was low key. It was a place that I could actually hear people talk, especially once you hide in the back, even better. But even the front wasn't that bad. But overall, I enjoyed that. I think there were like a bunch of parties we were supposed to go to. I only made it work to like half of them. But overall the party. Like I'm not really.
We went to one. That was the only party we went to, right?
Well, then you
You
had your
guys
separate
sound
event.
so much cooler than me. You're like,
Whatever.
there's a bunch of
You
parties.
had your
we
own
were supposed
separate,
to go to.
mini party for like the board Avengers and people and whatnot.
Oh, we just went to
Come on.
dinner.
Yeah. No. Either way.
It wasn't a party.
Yeah, party event. Once you're not playing games, it's like all just too many people. Anyways.
I do love that you guys were like, there's a bunch of parties we were supposed to go to. I had 0 parties that I was supposed to go to. That one, I crashed your camp co-op, and I crashed the Cephalofair thing. But I like being around.
For me, I like when my friends crash the parties I'm supposed to go to because I like my friends, not the parties. I like the people I like. I don't like the random grouping of people who are trying to shout to hear each other. So the more people I know, the more people I can hide with when I'm trying to not be social.
We're aware that you don't like loud noises.
Everyone will feel this, but usually I like going to the parties because there's one free drink ticket. So you go for the free drink and then leave.
Once you're not playing games, it's all just too many people.
Yeah, so I said that a minute ago, but I love the idea of getting that in a mug or something like that. Yeah. I remember there's a mug I saw one time that was great. It was, what was it again? It was called, the mug said, a large group of people is called no thanks.
Alex, I just noticed those are great socks.
My socks? Thank you.
Yeah.
These are the new ones. I just got these arrived while I'm gonna have to show.
That's great colors.
Yeah.
They really are.
I know, they're my channel colors.
Guys,
You look like a cartoon person.
Did you see what Petrified said about me not being invited to parties?
Yikes.
That's funny.
Hey, Devin has way cooler business cards than any of us.
I do.
He even has a wallet with Devin Talks Tabletop in it.
So Kevin, just for the context, that Devin talks about how you made Meg watch Sausage Party. What
I
actually
requested.
happened is we have a bad habit of sending
that
way.
sounded like an aggressive.
We have a bad habit of sending way too many GIFs to each other. GIFs. I say GIFs. You can say GIFs. And one time, Meg found like the perfect GIF for something. Perfect GIF for something. She found the perfect GIF for something, and she's like, "This is the best GIF ever." And Devin and I were like, "Yeah, that's from Sausage Party." And she's like, "What's that?" And we're like, "You have to watch this movie." So yeah, that happened.
It's hilarious.
Sausage Party has one of the, like, it's got 2 scenes in particular that it's got a reference to Saving Private Ryan, and then it's got an end of movie scene. And those 2 scenes alone are, just for the shock value, genuinely worth watching the entire 90-minute movie.
They're a lot. But yeah, past that, as far as games go, we walked back with a bunch. I don't remember what I got. I got Marrakesh, which I'm very excited for.
Oh, I have another thing to show the kids
What
at
do you have
home.
to show? Oh, your dice?
Yes, so I got these dice. I had a follower come by, and I was talking to him for a bit, and I was like, "What have you been getting?" And he was like, "Oh, let me show you this. It's so cool." These are scented dice. Oh, it's like
Did you
reflecting
get
the
some?
screen.
Did you
Let me
get some
take
of
them out.
those?
They're scented. They smell like a campfire.
They smell like a firewood, yeah.
And they're sparkly. The way they smell, the smell is so strong, and they smell so good. And so I'll just say it's the website is studiowoe.com, WOE. And these smell so good. They're the only dice I ever want to use for the rest of my life.
I love that you now have like a snuff box of dice. It's the most like gamer thing ever.
It's-
Just like, are you done with your turn?
I needed to cast Fireball. It's like thematic, where it's like when I do a fire spell, it's like Pcha! And then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!"
They really are insane. Like, I don't have a need for
smell
these
so
dice
good.
at all, and I kind of want them.
Yeah.
Like, they just smell so good. I just want
And
that package in a box.
I think it's hard to tell on camera, but they're a little bit glittery, so they're also like very pretty dice.
Did you say they smell like a package in a box?
No, I said I want that smell packaged in a box just so I can
Oh.
have it.
I thought she said it smelled like a package in a box. That smells like a box inside of a 3D rectangle inside of a sphere.
We should call that a box inside of a 3D rectangle inside of a sphere.
Yeah, Alex, you can smell them from here, right? When I opened it?
Oh no, I couldn't hear.
You can't smell it right now?
I appreciate the
Tell me when you
reference.
can smell it. Keep smelling. Keep smelling.
This is the weirdest stream ever. Oh, there we go.
You can smell it from there?
yeah.
So that's how much they smell.
I'm just like on stream, like going. It's like messed
We're not
up.
doing cocaine, I swear.
They really do smell. Like, I haven't been at an actual campfire for like 10 years, and it smells like being at a campfire. Yeah.
But to harken back to PAX Unplugged, I had a delightful time. I think my highlights always are before and after the hours, and that's just generally because I can't go talk to people. I'm either working a booth, which means I'm talking till my voice is hoarse, or I'm going around. And then when I go around, I feel selfish and self-conscious going to booths to talk to my friends because my friends are working and they're like, I'm not the reason why they're there. And like they're trying to, demo a game or sell a game or, have a meeting with, someone else in the industry. And I'm like in the way. So like, I don't like that. And also because of work or because of trying to meet people, I don't feel great sitting down to play a game. So after hours of those conventions is my favorite. And it was definitely that way at PAX for me. I will say the one time during convention hours that I had an absolute blast was when you, me, and West played 4-player Crokinole with Jeremy. I had a great time.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that a lot. For me, I think the last 4 hours of the convention were a lot for me because the first few days were fairly ambient as I walked around, interacted, I got to hang out with different people. I really enjoyed actually one of the first days. I really enjoyed walking around with Board Game Dave for an hour, just going booth to booth. But like I think
I'm so jealous.
It was a lot of fun. I like that. Both
Board Game Dave never came by the Addicts booth, right?
He did not when you were there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like I enjoy that aspect. Devin and I kind of more play games, but with both Board Game Dave on like one of the early days, and then Meg, you in the last like 4 hours of the convention. I love browsing. I love browsing booth to booth, and I specifically like doing it with other people. I like that aspect of tag teaming and just walking up, and then you'll browse this, I'll talk to them, you'll run here. I like that sense of because often you also have that aspect of very often we don't always know the same people. So it's nice to have like that, okay, great, you know this person, and it's a new opportunity. It's a new way of almost networking. Because I'm running to, like, Thunderworks and saying hi to them, and I'm like, oh, hey, also here's Meg, I'm doing a lot of Twitch streaming with her. And then the flip side is, Meg will pop over to Final Girl and be like, hey, I just loved your game. And, like, it allows for that extra level of interaction and just having fun while you run around. And for those last 4 hours of the convention for me was where, like, I got in a lot of the stuff that I hadn't really done the first few days. A lot of things I just kept on pushing off. I was like, boom, I'm going to meet with them, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to see this. And I felt like I crammed a lot into those last 4 hours. Like, I got some of the browsing parts done while enjoying more of the social elements the first few days. More the ambient nature of, talking to a content creator, hanging out with, I know one of the highlights for all of us was, hanging out with Rodney Smith. Because it's someone like I've been talking to for a while, and just popping into a corner and spending like half an hour talking to him.
I feel like that wasn't real life. I feel like that was like a fever dream of PAX that didn't actually happen.
That was like so crazy. And also, Meg, I didn't get the chance to talk with you about this because you had to go do some work. But it was like we were sitting there and we were talking with Rodney Smith and this unknown tall figure. And we're talking for like 30 minutes. I'm like, this is delightful. I was like, I think I recognize that person. And I'm getting to talk with Rodney. And, these are people that I really enjoy. Like, got Meg and Alex here, got my good friends. And I'm just getting to spend time with someone that exists on a screen for most of my time. And I get to meet them in person. And, like, that's such a cool thing. And then I went back to my booth, went back to the Addicts booth. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get back to work now. And they were still over there talking. And then I'm sitting there. And I go, wait a second. That's Adam Smith. That's Rolling Solo Adam Smith. And I was like, oh. I was like, because I never see him on his videos because he's always doing a top down. I was like, I only know him from his like Facebook picture. on like the tiny little Facebook picture. I was literally talking to Rodney Smith and Adam Smith, who I later found out were uncle and nephew. And I was literally talking to Adam that whole time and did not introduce myself. And so then I talked to the Addicts booth people and I'm like, I am so sorry. I was like, I gotta go.
I have to go apologize.
And I go back and I'm like, Adam, my brain just realized to take your mask off in my head and realize what your face was. And I was like, I love what you do. I was like,
That's
I
crazy.
started a whole new conversation with Adam after talking with Rodney and Adam.
So I didn't even recognize Rodney. Rodney recognized me and went, Meg. And I was like, and then I think you were like, Rodney. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
Masks
also,
are hard.
He originally, before we talked over there, he said boo to me and Alex while we were demoing Gosu X.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize him either. And then I saw him, I was like, Rodney is trim AF. I was like, that is a good-looking man.
And so
I was
tall.
like, Rodney in person.
Yeah, unemployed lawyer Adam Smith is Rodney Smith's nephew. They both are in the board game.
Yeah,
space,
I didn't
both
know
do
they
content.
were related.
Yeah, Rolling Solo. Channel's Rolling Solo and watch it play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to get Meg as a promo final girl. That would be awesome.
We're working on.
She's working on it.
All of the camp co-opers want it now. So, like, shameless plug for our Twitch stream, but we're gonna do Final Girl Fridays starting the Friday I come back from Devin. So starting next Friday, every Friday night, I'll be streaming Final Girl by myself. And we're working on it. We're trying. We're gonna beg.
Cool. And I think we're closing in on an hour and a half at this point. I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up if there's anything else we want to cover.
I want to say we had a great time as content creators, but Devin and I got to work a booth together for Addicts Games for our game Rove, and it was so fun getting the team together. This is something that I've been saying a couple times now. Is my boss Mutty, I've only gotten to see him in real life like twice. So getting to spend the entire time at the booth with him and with Josh and meeting Tom, it was so much fun getting to just have them be real people in front of me instead of just someone I'm messaging or talking to online. It really felt like a little family, like a little crew that we had going, and Devin did great. He was awesome.
Devin did great. Thank you.
I was booth mom, where I had to I set up everything. So I'm just very, very proud of the team, and it went really well. And I was really impressed with how many people came by to see Rove and didn't know who we were or anything like that, but were interested in the game. So yeah, I really, really had a great time. It was my first time running a booth since 2014. Back in 2012 to 14, I used to run registration for Magic the Gathering. So I was working for Wizards of the Coast, but since then, this was my first time in a booth, and I thought it would be a bit more awkward, that I wouldn't be good at it, or I wouldn't, know what I'm doing. And it felt like it used to, where I was able to just jump right into it. It was very easy. Everyone was so kind, and very interested in the game that, yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
I also do love the perpendicular view that you guys have, because on Meg's stream she's like, I've got just a couple of dragons, and on Alex's screen it's like, dragon! But yeah, no, I had a delightful time working the booth, and like you said, it was really nice to work with the Addicts team in person. And then it was a good time for me as well. I enjoyed everything about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Conventions are a lot of fun. They're a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of draining. The booth aspect is a whole other aspect as well. But yeah, they can be a lot of fun. And my favorite part consistently is making new friends every time. Of just that new touch point. The next time you see the convention, you pop over and you say hi to someone else. It really feels like a separate little convention family of people you see time and time again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. With that said, we're going to go ahead and sign off over here. We'll be back next week. Are we aiming for 1 p.m. next week? Are we finally making the move?
Are we making the moves?
To
Are we
1
making
p.m.
moves?
We could. Next week we'll be actually at Devin's, right?
You guys are at my house, so it's a question of when you want to get ready.
We'll figure it out. Take a look at the schedule. We'll try to have something scheduled so that
we'll have
up
it pre-scheduled, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll figure it all out. In any case, until next time, thanks so much for joining. We are Alex.
Meg.
And that person. And until next time,
Goodbye.
hope you have a good one.
Goodbye.
See you guys. That is